everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Nourish and Thriving Show. I'm Katie Lovett, registered dietitian, owner of Nourish and Thrive Nutrition Counseling, and obviously host of the Nourish and Thriving Show. So happy to be here with you guys tonight. Thanks for spending your Wednesday evening with me. It is storming, about to be storming here in Texas. We've been waiting for the rain all day, and it's about here. So hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's staying safe if it's storming where you're at tonight. I'm really excited about tonight's show. I think y'all are really going to enjoy this. I think bringing this stuff to you guys that is nutrition in a more practical, realistic, real world way that you guys can take action towards, apply, all of that is the whole point of doing the show. And so these kinds of shows, I'm kind of teasing it before I spill the beans, which I think y'all kind of already know what we're doing. But these kinds of shows make me like the most excited, right? Where we're really kind of giving y'all a peek at what I do every single day as a dietitian. So tonight we're going to be talking about, and we've talked about this before, y'all. This isn't really like new information. We talked about this in a previous episode, but we're going to look at it from a different angle tonight that is going to really bring it home. So diagnosis can be helpful. Right, we talked about this, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? Diagnosis can be helpful, but it's not always going to explain why something is happening. And so we're going to show what it actually looks like. You know, a few weeks ago, we said a diagnosis should be like the beginning of the conversation, not the end. A diagnosis should give you more curiosity about something, not be like, okay, check the box. Like we got it done. We're done. And so tonight we're really going to, like I said, show you what that looks like, to ask better questions once that diagnosis has been given, whenever we're trying to get curious. And like we said before, like being diagnosed with something, having a label, having a diagnosis, having, more descriptive terms around what's going on with your body can be helpful. We're not throwing out, the baby with the bathwater, so to speak, where we're saying diagnoses are completely useless. So we're not rejecting them. It's really digging deeper and showing you guys what that looks like as a registered dietitian in a nutrition practice, how we help our patients dig deeper and really kind of understand some of the patterns around what may be contributing to what's going on. So I'm really excited. I don't think I've said that yet. Just kidding. And we're focusing tonight on food patterns. I'm going to give y'all that context. So it's going to be a little bit disjointed, perhaps, from what an actual patient session would look like. I wanted to give you guys that heads up. I'm not looking at a patient's history. I'm not spending a ton of time getting to know their social situation, their work situation, anything like that. We're really looking at food patterns tonight. And we're going to keep it pretty educational and practical so that you can apply it yourself. Of course, if you're like, man, I need someone to just come do that for me. If you're in Texas, we would love to have you at the Nourish and Thriving Show at Nourish and Thrive. We'd love to help you, with that. If you feel like you need someone's help with that. But yes, my goal for you tonight is to walk away and you be able to do this on your own. Teach a man and a woman to fish tonight, so to speak. So that's kind of the general, context of what we're going to be doing. The problem again is whenever we have a diagnosis, we're not looking at what's creating the pattern that has led up to that point. Remember my functional medicine tree. If you guys don't remember it, it was a few weeks back. So make sure you go watch that show where we really talked about if you have a tree, the diagnosis is the leaves. Those are like the last things to grow. And so with nutrition, we're down working in the soil, and what is actually feeding that tree and helping it to grow big and strong and healthy. And so, that's what I get to do is look for those patterns and what's contributing to all of that. So we want to look at the inputs basically. So tonight, We're going to have a special guest with us. I've kind of alluded to this. Y'all know, y'all have seen him on the cover image. But Keith from Invisible No More is here, in virtual land. He's going to zoom in a minute. And he has logged a few days of food. If y'all follow him on Instagram, he's been hyping this up and talking about it and how scary it is. I hope I'm not scary. It's going to be okay. But he's logged a few days of food, and we're going to actually take a look together. And I'm going to teach you guys the 4 things I look for specifically. I look at other things too because I have better context, and I'm normally working with patients long term, not in 1 hour long session or show. But I'm teaching you guys the 4 big things to look for whenever you're looking at your own intake. So let's see if we can bring Keith up to join us. Hey,
Keith, can you hear us? You are live.
Yes, I can. I can hear you guys. Good evening.
Awesome.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm glad to have you here. Hope you're glad to be here. I'm excited.
I am, and I am nervous, and I'm scared to death. But here's the thing: like we were talking before we got started, if I can take these 4 things and apply them to what I'm currently doing to myself with what I eat, if it can help overall, it's a win.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to take the any kind of fear out of it for anybody else, because they're going to see worst case scenario tonight with the number of burritos I eat a day and during a week. And if this is the worst of it, yeah, let's do it. And if it can help, I'm sure changing my diet can help my body feel better.
Yeah.
I just have to make the decisions and figure out where to start. So
yeah,
all
I
right,
can help with that.
I'm ready and willing.
Awesome. I can help with that. So I think what makes the most sense, it's going to kind of lift the veil of surprise. Like there's not going to be a lot of build up to this. But I think I'm going to go over the 4 things first, and then we'll look at the food logs and kind of apply all of those things. And then kind of go from there. And also, I'm going to caveat this to say right now, because maybe somebody can't watch until the end. I'll try and remember to repeat it at the end too. But I pretty much never recommend that someone take action on all 4 of these things all at once. That's overwhelming and stressful, right? So we always want to look for the lowest hanging fruit, the biggest bang for our buck. What are, the initial changes that we can make if we want to make them. So let me share the 4 things that I look at. So the first one is going to be energy intake with some nuances. So yes, calories still matter. If we are eating more energy than we are burning, we will likely gain weight. If you are eating fewer calories than what you burn, you most likely will lose weight. There are some kind of exceptions where this gets a little bit trickier. But calories do matter. Energy intake does matter. But also timing of it. So are there really long gaps between meals? Is the person kind of eating a similar amount from day to day? Are there big variations, where one day they're not eating hardly anything, the next day they're, eating a lot? How does that look? Are people going most of the day without eating and then eating one gigantic meal right before they go to bed? Are they snacking all throughout the day and never actually eating a meal? It really can look a lot of different ways, and maybe it changes from day to day, but those are all kind of things I look at in this first energy intake pillar, so to speak. So the second thing I'm going to look at is macronutrients. That's protein, carbohydrates, and fat. And I also add fiber into here as a macronutrient because it's really important. So fiber is a carbohydrate, but it's so important that I kind of put it on its own little area in there with it. I break it out separately. And, fiber is not always it's never fully absorbed by us. It feeds our good tummy bugs and our microbiome. And so it's a little bit different than just what we normally think of as a carbohydrate. So macronutrients and fiber. And then I look at third, micronutrients, phytonutrients. So those are vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols that we're getting from normally colorful fruits and vegetables and whole grains and stuff. So here we're looking at how many different colors not like artificial colors made in a lab. How many different colors of like fruits and vegetables is somebody getting in a day, in a week? How many? Are they getting any omega-3 sources? Omega-3s are like the anti-inflammatory type of fat. Heart healthy fat. Are they getting magnesium rich foods? You may have heard magnesium is an area of, kind of concern for people in the US, where our soil has become depleted of some nutrients, and a lot of people aren't getting enough nutrients, including magnesium is kind of the hot one that we hear about a lot. I'm going to talk about this in a future show. I'm going to send Kevin some images, I think, about just all of the biochemical processes happening in our body, a little bit of the physiology, and why our body actually needs these micronutrients. I think it's a huge part that gets overlooked a lot of the time. We think our bodies just somehow magic themselves into functioning, but we actually have mapped out all of these pathways, and these little nutrients are used literally to make these pathways function. So if your body doesn't have those nutrients it needs to perform those functions, it can generally compensate for a while, but things start to really go off the rails. So they're really, really important. So that's 3. And then 4, we're actually looking at is there anything that's going to potentially cause harm? What is the inflammatory burden of the food? Are there a lot of food chemicals being added? Are there a lot of ultra processed foods happening here, which Keith is I think you said, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think you used the word garbage is related to your diet. And I think that's what I use. Okay. I think it was kind of thinking about ultra processed foods, types of things that you're eating. Is somebody drinking alcohol? How frequently are they drinking alcohol? Are they doing a ton of caffeine and energy drinks? Stuff like that. And, it's not about judging somebody or, anything like that. It's really about just objectively looking at, okay, what is the total burden here? And then, of course, with my patients in real life, I have a lot more context and we have a lot more time to talk. So we're also looking at it in the context of overall stressors of emotional stress, financial stress, physical stress, all of that, because, we talked about the stress cup a few weeks ago too, the stress bucket or stress cup, where they all kind of build up in our body and impact our ability to function. So it's not necessarily singling out one specific day or one specific meal. It's really looking at these patterns so that we can start to understand what's happening in our bodies. So those are the 4 things. So energy intake, macronutrients and fiber, micronutrients and phytonutrients, and then inflammatory burden and chemicals. So y'all with me so far?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
When you're looking at the stressors, you find a way to add in our chronic pain patients' pain level in their which causes, so many different things, lack of energy, lack of ability to go out and that kind of stuff. I think that might be something to consider. Same thing with people with some specific chronic illnesses or just even mental health, bipolar or just depression. I think that would be a good, I'm sure you probably do, but I just kind of wanted to point out that those could be taken into account as well as stressors.
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely could. Okay. Thank you for mentioning that.
Sorry about that.
No, thank you for mentioning it. I think it's important. And I think that's really something that stands out with dietitians. We tend to be very empathetic people and kind of cheerleaders. And I think a lot of the time people may get nutrition education from a physician or a nurse. They don't have time to listen and understand your situation. They don't. They have a ton of patients to see. Or maybe your interaction with a dietitian has been in a hospital. Clinical dietitians have a very different skill set than a private practice dietitian. They're there to support you while you're in the hospital and maybe give you some tips for when you get out. But they're not there to really sit with you and listen, and all of that. They're there to give you the education on here's what to do from this hospitalization to help you heal from this acute illness. Private practice dietitians, we have the time. we bill per 15-minute unit whenever we're billing insurance. So yeah, maybe there's some unit limits and there's different plan limits and stuff like that. But most of our sessions are an hour long, and we meet with our patients anywhere from once a week to once a month based on their need and their desire. And everything is personalized based on what they're able to do and what they're not. And from one session to the next, it's, okay, we're going to set some goals. It's very patient led on what they feel they're able to do. My job is an educator and encourager. And I, help see solutions. I help create, see barrier potentials. I help people create a concrete plan that they know exactly what they're going to go do. But ultimately, it's up to the patient to decide what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, what they're willing to do or able to do and not. And then the next session, we report back. What worked? What didn't? Why didn't it work? Okay, what do we need to adjust to help it be more successful? Is this still the right decision, or do we need to pivot? And so, yeah, I think that's a great point to bring up, Keith.
Because like we've talked before, if that plan that you've put them on the first time isn't working, okay, it's not necessarily the client or the patient's issue. It could be the plan, right? I mean, and what I just want to jump in real quick and just say that I love your approach, because one of the whole underlying themes of all of these lives we do every week is to try to help patients get patient-centered care, because everybody's different, right? And I love how I think as a dietitian, you guys have to kind of do that. I'm sure that there's some basic plans that you can tweak some, but to me, to actually boil it down to a specific, what this person is missing, what this person isn't, I think you guys are set up to really focus on that patient-centered care. And I think maybe if we can start with you, maybe we can convince our doctors, and then hopefully filter it down to whoever we see. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. You ready to dig in?
Oh, I'm ready. Everybody already knows. They've already said in the comments, one person's here just because they want to know how many burritos I had in 4 days.
Okay. So, well, we can definitely add them up. I mean, it sounds like people are curious.
That's because I tease them all the time. That's all I eat. And as you see, you have the food log for 4 days. The only thing that's missing from the food log is what I was drinking, because I couldn't figure out how to put it in it.
Okay.
But we can get to that too.
And that's why it's so important to meet and review this stuff, because it provides context, right? So, Okay. So I have Keith's food log up in my client portal on my computer here. Kevin has some screenshots that I took. Just in case we have some visual learners, I think it's helpful. There wasn't really a good way for me to be able to just share my screen with you guys. So I'm going to be just kind of giving Kevin maybe some cues about, okay, day one, this meal type of thing. But I'm just going to kind of go through this like I would with a patient, if that's okay. So I'm going to kind of get into my little dietitian groove here and we'll go for it. So Keith has a gray circle on February 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. I don't know that you logged all of those days, but we're going to go through, and just kind of look. So I always just start at the first date log.
Yeah, the food intake should be correct.
Yeah.
It's just if I gotta know, I didn't put coffee in, I didn't put bottles of water in.
Yeah.
I may have put a few sodas, but I think I
saw a couple. Okay. So the 12th is just empty. So you probably just opened it up that day. The 13th is our first day with food. So something I noticed here is there's no breakfast added. And this was now almost a month ago. So we'll see how good your memory is. Do you know if you ate breakfast that day and just didn't log it? Okay.
Oh, I know. I did. I know I didn't.
You did not eat breakfast that day.
For all the rest of those days. Yeah. Breakfast is not something that happens.
Yeah. So, and this is something I would ask a patient. So tell me if you're not comfortable answering it, but could you give me just a general flow of what 24 hours in Keith's world looks like? Like, what time are you waking up? What do you do? When do you first eat? Kind of what do you do throughout the day? When do you go to bed?
Out of bed, generally plus or minus, I'm just going to say 8. First meds go in me, or my daily meds at least will go in me by 8:30 or 9, which would be blood pressure, ketamine, oxypain meds, gabapentin. So that's about 8:30 or maybe 9 at the latest for those. Then we just do daily stuff. I start answering text messages, WhatsApp messages, emails from people who are in the invisible community. Do some social media stuff. Then generally around 12 or 1 is when I'll stop for, it's called lunch, but whatever, for lunch. And do that, met up again about 1. And by like 2 or 3, my back is really bad almost every single day. So I'm back in bed by 2 or 3, and I'll crawl back out about 6 and spend time with wife, dogs, more social media stuff, more invisible stuff, and then eat maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night would be quote unquote dinner. That's on average. Sometimes the dinner's earlier than that. Sometimes it's later than that. But then typically lately, the last month or so, pain insomnia has been an issue. So I'm up till around 2 or 3. So sometimes between 12 and 1, I'll get a snack like a ham sandwich.
Yeah.
And that's my life.
Okay. Once you go to sleep, are you able to sleep typically pretty well, do you think? Or are you kind of tossing and turning, or does it depend on the night?
Toss and turn.
Yeah.
Definitely toss and turn. And yeah, so just depends on the pain level, on where I'm at and how quick it takes to actually fall asleep.
Okay. Thank you. That's really helpful. One other question. Do you feel hungry in the morning whenever you wake up? Are you not hungry until noon? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'm not hungry until noon.
Okay.
Yeah. But I drink a lot of coffee, and that's not logged.
Yeah.
In the mornings, from when I get up till probably 10:30, that's probably 4 to 5 like normal coffee cups, if that makes sense. Because I pour it into a big travel mug, like something like this, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll drink 1.5 of those. So that's probably like the regular
24
coffee cups you
ounces,
get.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a 24
at
ounces
least
of coffee.
24 ounces. Yeah.
Okay. Do you put anything in it, or do you drink it?
Oh
hot?
yeah. Oh, I loaded up sugar, cream, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, all of it. Okay. How much water do you think you're getting in a day, Keith?
Not much.
Yeah.
32 ounces, maybe 2 16-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
And then maybe 2 same size bottle Diet Cokes.
Okay. Any other drinks?
Occasional Gatorade.
Yeah.
At night.
Okay. Why do you think you don't drink more than 32 ounces? Because you yourself said that you didn't think you were getting much water in. Do you think you should be getting more?
I don't know. That started, I've always not drank a whole lot. But then the last year or so, I was drinking the Big GBs out of Topo Chico water, like the lime. It's like the lime flavored. I mean, I would drink a 12-pack in 2 days, right? But I got put on a medicine for migraines that actually messed with my taste buds, and I can't drink it anymore because it tastes like pepper.
Oh, interesting.
Like I'm taking a pepper shaker and I'm dumping it in my mouth.
The Topo Chico lime or water tastes like
Topo Chico lime. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird.
But you're okay with tasting water, like you're okay with the taste of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with the taste of water.
So more maybe just a habit, just something you aren't really intentional about.
Yeah, I'm not intentional about it unless it's like 110 degrees outside. I'll force myself to drink it when it gets hot in the summertime.
Okay. That's really helpful. Thanks. Okay. So and that's pretty much every day with drinks, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Kevin, if you want to pull up day 1 on the screen. I think I'm a visual person. So if you guys don't feel like seeing the food log is helpful and you'd rather just see us talk, just put it in the chat and we don't have to share the slides. Yeah. Okay. So no breakfast.
I think what we're going to see is day 1. They're all pretty much going to be about the same, more than likely.
Yeah. Okay. Can you go to the next one, Kevin? The mid-afternoon snack. Cool. Okay. So this was logged at about 2:50. You said you were level of hungry, was a 3, pretty hungry. You had a cola. Was that the Diet Coke Keith? Or
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So a Diet Coke and a chewy cookie, 2 chewy cookies. Okay. And then you can go into the next slide, Kevin, if you want. And then the next time you ate was dinner, and that was about 9:00. So just like you said, you were very hungry before, which makes sense because you'd only had a couple of cookies and a Diet Coke, and you'd been up for 13 hours at that point, So I bet you were hungry. And then afterwards, you were still at a 4. You were slightly hungry. Do you ever feel stuffed, Keith, or like overly full or satisfied, or do you feel like you're always kind of slightly hungry?
Pretty much always slightly hungry because it's the whole childhood stuff. I won't eat, and unless it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, I won't eat until those are the days I'll eat till I feel stuffed. But other than that, that's it.
Okay. So you had 3 beef and bean burritos. Someone can keep a tally if they want. So
I'm sure Kate's doing that.
So we're at 3.
3 beef and bean burritos, and we put couple of tablespoons of sour cream on each of them, and then some ghost pepper salsa. And then, so that was all for day 1. And then Kevin, if you progress to the next slide, it'll actually show you the daily totals. Cool. So, for that day, you had about 1,240 calories. So 1,240 calories. 43% of it was carbs, 10% was protein, fat was 46%. So guys, I'm going to go through all of this first, and then I'll start telling you guys some patterns and stuff towards the end. So I'm just going to kind of regurgitate data that you're seeing. And then let's see, I wanted to show fiber. So, 9 grams of fiber was on there. I think it's over to the side maybe now because you're showing me on the screen. And then Keith, one thing that you mentioned kind of significant concern over was sodium. I heard you mention that you're concerned about you're eating a ton of sodium several times actually. So this day you're at about 2,600 milligrams of sodium, which I would not say is extreme. About 2,000 milligrams is, typically what people want. I think unless you have certain health conditions, I think sometimes sodium is a little overly emphasized within reason. So a little over, the typical recommendation.
And that could be it. It could just be, growing up and you're told, don't limit your salt, keep an eye on your salt intake and stuff like that. That was definitely beaten to my head.
Yeah.
As I was growing up. So
yeah, you did have a day that was quite a bit higher. So we'll look at that here in a second. But so that's kind of day 1. 19 total grams of sugars, even with those couple of cookies in there. I didn't observe that you had a ton of added sugar, in your diet. So that's good. Okay. The 14th, Valentine's Day, you did say you ate some breakfast at 4 a.m. So if you progress this into the next slide, Kevin, thank you.
That's actually, I needed a place to log it because I was still up at 4 a.m. because of insomnia and I was hungry. So that's why I put it down as breakfast instead of a snack.
Okay. So. Okay. So you were still up and you were hungry. So kind of breakfast at that point. Level of hungry 2, very hungry. Level of hunger after 4, slightly hungry. You wrote pain woke me up, was hungry, remembered that you skipped dinner. You needed food in your stomach before taking meds. Pain was a 9 out of 10. So you had 2 slices of bread. So you made a ham sandwich, like you said. So 2 slices of bread, some ham, and some mayo on there. So it was 4. Did you go back to sleep? Do you remember, Keith?
Not right away. Yeah. I'm sure I wouldn't lay back down, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Can't remember what time I eventually got back up.
Okay. And then the next time you ate was a mid-morning snack. You were very hungry before you ate this. This was about 10:45. And you had 9 beef taquitos and some ghost pepper salsa and 4 tablespoons of sour cream. And your pain was a 6 or 7 out of 10 early lunch since you were up really, at 3:45 in the morning. And so I'm guessing your medication had started to kick in. It improved your pain a little bit at this point. And ghost pepper salsa. Is it as
It's
spicy
awesome.
as I imagine it being?
And you can get it at Walmart, and it's
Okay.
actually really good.
I've had some
Kind of shocking.
ghost pepper potato chips that I could
Ooh,
not eat. I had like one bite and I was like, nope, it's too hot. And I like a little spice. So I'm like, how spicy is this ghost pepper salsa? Is it pretty spicy?
it's spicy.
It's
It
pretty
is
spicy.
definitely. That's why I use so much sour cream to tone it down.
help,
But it's spicy, and it tastes good too. So,
Yeah. Cool.
you know,
Very cool. I've never tried any. Okay. And then mid-afternoon snack at 9:12 p.m. Maybe that was just when you logged it. I don't know. We had our cookies again. We had 6 cookies this day. You went a little more. And then dinner at 10 o'clock. Some stir-fried noodles, hot chicken flavor ramen. So is this just a packet of ramen, or did you like add anything else to it? Okay.
it's just a packet of ramen.
Just a packet of ramen. Okay. So then if we go into the next slide, Kevin, we can see kind of the breakdown from the day. So a little more intake this day, right? You ate more times than you did the day before, about 2,200 calories, and then 59 grams of protein, 13 grams of fiber. I want to pull in the sodium too again. So this day you were higher in sodium, that 49.35. So you were like double the amount of sodium from the day before. And if this were us like meeting more recently after you logging this food, I would want to ask you more questions about how you felt that next day after having that much sodium intake. I don't know if you remember or not, if you felt better or worse.
No, I can't really remember.
Yeah.
Every day it varies because of where the pain level is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if it's a high pain day, then my energy level is going to drop because I'm going to be spending time, my brain spending time focusing on the pain and trying not to hurt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
and I
sodium
think
can...
that's,
Go ahead.
I think that I'm hoping people will make appointments with registered dietitians, because I think that's something that you guys can possibly help us with keeping track of. Like I never even thought to say, okay, I ate a lot of sodium yesterday. How am I feeling today?
Yeah.
I never even thought about asking
Yeah.
asking myself that question,
Yeah.
and I don't want to discount whether my diet could heal my nerve issues, but my goal is just to get my body better,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking if my body's better, I'm going to feel better, hopefully, overall. If that makes sense.
It
Hope
does.
that makes sense.
It does. I mean, even
that's-
like
but that's-
reducing some inflammation and giving your body more nutrients to function,
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah,
great.
get more nutrients. If I have a flare, and my body already has whatever it needs in it to recover, maybe the recovery won't be as long.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but I think that's one reason I'm excited that you're part of this whole thing, is it gives us pain patients who've never been exposed to a dietitian to see how we could possibly make changes to get better overall. Because it's all about quality of life, right?
Yeah,
It is really what it is. So,
That is what it comes
right.
down to.
sorry about the editorial there. I
okay.
apologize.
Okay. So looking at the sodium that day, about 1,100 milligrams is coming from that ham. So that could be something you look for, let me look at the sodium content of this ham I'm buying. Is there one that has less, a little bit lower sodium? And then even just watch it and say, hey, I tracked my food and, ate, 5,000 milligrams of sodium and I felt more swollen and inflamed the next day. Your body could be pulling in more water, right? Trying to kind of dilute that sodium in your blood.
Right.
And can make you retain water, which, I've been pregnant 3
inflammation, and that's
times
gonna
and I retained a lot of water and it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no. And see, again, that's that's a great point. I never even would have even thought to look when we go to a grocery store to buy ham. Is typically, okay, what's the cheapest brand that I can eat that
Yeah.
tastes good,
Yeah.
right? And that's really what it is. And I've never even looked at the sodium on that ham package, and I probably didn't even look when I did the journal, because the journal is slick. Seriously, you take a picture of it with your phone, the barcode, and it will upload everything that's in that like if it's processed food, like the burritos or the ham or even the mayonnaise, right? It loads everything up for you that they have broken down on the side. It's cool. You don't have to type anything in.
yeah, I'm glad you liked it. It gets a little more cumbersome when you start eating more whole foods though. You have to type it in.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, It's good. And I don't normally have people log their food every single day unless they just like it. Some people really like it. You know, they're like, I really like making those observations. I like that accountability. But most of the time we do just what you did, where we kind of pulse it for a few days. You know, we say, let's just, log it for a few days, get a good baseline, and then use that data, because you eat the same thing almost every day, right? And then we use that data to make a plan. And maybe 4 to 6 months down the road, you're like, okay, I've plateaued. I don't feel like I'm continuing to improve. Okay, let's log our food again a few more days, see what else we can uncover, because you've made some changes. So what are you doing now? You have a new baseline of intake. But yeah, no, that would be, this is not medical advice because this is a YouTube show, but
right,
perhaps observe sodium content and pain level the next day and see if you see any patterns there. It's probably coming from the ramen, the taquitos, and the ham. Because the ramen, I think, has a lot of sodium. How much is in there?
Oh, it's got
1630. Sure, yeah, so 1630. I think the taquitos were about 1,000 and the ham was about 1,000. So, even with the ramen, like, you can use like half the seasoning packet. I don't know if it would still taste good to you or not, but that's an easy way to cut the sodium a little bit. Okay. So let's go into the next slide. Thank you. But yeah, I think that was everything from that day. More total sugar that day, probably from eating more cookies, right? Wasn't that the day where you ate more cookies? Yeah, you had 6 cookies instead of 2. So that's probably where the sugar come from. And then, I think that was all I was going to say about that day. Okay, so the 15th. Awesome, you got it. So breakfast, 3, pretty hungry. I didn't see anything logged for food though, right? So you were hungry, you were in pain, you were tired, but you did not eat. And then you did eat, like you said, at lunchtime, about 12:25. 3 beef and bean burritos, a sour cream, and our ghost pepper salsa, and our Diet Coke. And then the next was the mid-afternoon snack. You had 8 cookies today. Is there like a reason from one day to the next why you'd eat more or less cookies, Keith? Curious.
Just hunger.
Okay.
Hunger, or I don't really, I consider myself blessed. I don't really eat when I'm bored. So I'm sure it was just,
you were just more hungry.
A little hungrier probably.
Are those cookies good? What brand are they?
Oh my God. Oh, they're just your basic Chips Ahoy cookies. Nothing fancy.
Do you like them?
Oh my God. I love them. I could eat the whole package, So, but I don't.
You don't. You eat a few. Okay. And then dinner, you had 4 slices of pizza, of pepperoni classic crust pizza.
Red Baron. Yeah. Red Baron.
Okay.
Cardboard pizza.
Yeah. And then, so the next slide, Kevin, is our totals for the day. So you had more calories. You had that pizza, which is higher in calories than ramen because it has higher fat than ramen noodles. Protein was a little higher too, though, probably from the pepperoni pizza and then the burritos. And then fiber was 17 grams, a little higher, probably from the beans in your burritos. Sodium was pretty high that day. I think that's the highest at 5,500 milligrams. I think the day before you were at 5,000. And then sugar was at 81, and that's because you had more cookies. So, cool. And then, did I have it? Yeah, day 4. The 16th. Thank you, Kevin. Lunch was your first meal that you logged about 12:24, 12:25. You are a man of routine. Right on.
Good
right on cue. Pretty hungry, level 3. You had 2 burritos, 2 beef and bean burritos, 2 servings of salsa, 4 tablespoons of sour cream. And then dinner was late at around just before midnight. You had a sandwich, a ham sandwich. Pretty hungry. Did you get hungry like in the afternoon, like between 12 and 12, 12:30 and 12?
No, not really. I wonder what day of the week that was.
This is a Monday.
That's a Monday. Mm-hmm. No, I can't think of anything. I don't know. I don't know what kept me from. I wasn't really hungry until that late. So
And that's something really interesting too, Keith, where our bodies get used to what they're used to. So if you started eating more frequently and then you tried to go back to this schedule, you would feel hungry, maybe, more. I have that happen all the time with patients where they never eat breakfast and then they start eating breakfast. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm like waking up hungry now. I never used to be hungry. I don't know what's happened. Our bodies just become accustomed, to what we give them to. So,
Right. I think for me, part of it also is at night like that, everything's quiet. Like I have like zero responsibilities. The dogs are in bed, Valerie's taking care, everything's done. Right. And so that's when I can finally go find something to eat too, because I pretty much will find a way to keep myself busy. Or if it's a bad pain day or something like that, I'll be distracted until I get starving. So
yeah, that makes sense. Do you ever feel
I do typically eat really late. 9 would be early.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah. And then because you're up until you said 2 or 3 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I have 2 questions for you. Do you feel like this is your optimal sleep routine, like before the pain, or if the pain weren't here, is this the routine your body would naturally gravitate to? Kind of a night owl kind of person?
Probably. I mean, if I could snap my fingers, I'd like to be in bed by about like 11 o'clock, and asleep by 11 o'clock. It's just such a variable. There's no real rhyme or reason that I've figured out that triggers different like neuropathies or radiculopathy. So some nights it's my thighs, some nights it's my feet, sometimes it's my chest, so it's just whatever it is. Right. And so.
Yeah. Okay. Some people just say, I don't need a lot of sleep anyways. I'm kind of a night owl anyways. So I was trying to understand how much was because of health conditions versus just your natural tendencies.
Natural tendencies would be probably closer to night owl. Definitely more of a night owl than early bird. Getting up out of bed early.
Yeah. Okay. My other question, and if you don't want to answer on our live YouTube, you can tell me. No pressure. Do you feel like something you said made me wonder this? Whenever you're in pain, you said you're kind of distracted by the pain. So do you think that keeps your focus away from being able to eat? Like sometimes people are in pain and they're not able to eat. Sometimes people are in pain and so they seek out food for comfort, if that makes sense.
I think for me, if the pain's pretty bad, I don't even think about food.
Yeah.
It doesn't register. Hunger doesn't register to me.
Yeah.
Until I can get the pain down to a somewhat reasonable number. Then I'm like, holy crap, I'm starving.
You're really hungry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
But I think if you have pain patients coming into the clinic, I think that's a really good question to ask though, because we are all different. But I could see, I don't think I'm the only pain patient that has the ability to block things out when they're in a lot of pain. It's just a trick. It's like putting a mask on, right? You just kind of set it aside and just keep doing what you got to do for that situation.
Yeah.
And food's not typically something I wouldn't ever look for.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense. Let's see. Kevin, can we go back to the totals for day 4?
I'm shocked it was only 8 burritos.
Were you keeping track? I wasn't counting. It was 8?
Yeah.
8 in 4 days? About 2 a day?
Kate says final count over 4 days, 8 burritos, 9 taquitos. Reported that he prefers.
The 9 taquitos were in 1 day, though.
Yeah. Well, they're small.
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah, they're small. Yeah. But yeah, so this was day 4, kind of lower calories again, right? Kind of lower on the calories, 1,100. Protein pretty low, 35 grams of protein. And then fiber was down to 8 grams. Sodium was down again too, so 2,300-ish. Sugar also only 8 grams this day. And that kind of tracks. You see how your ratios are kind of the same, right? Like higher calorie days, you get more fiber, you also get more protein, you get more sodium. Lower calorie days, you're getting less of all of that stuff. It's still pretty proportionate, because you're eating relatively similar things from day to day. It's just the quantity of it. And then you did log some stuff on the 17th. I failed to take screenshots on that day. I'm sorry. I think.
Sorry.
But it's kind of the same stuff. So one really cool thing is we can look at averages really easily on my end of doing this. So, it did average in the 17th as well, into these averages. There may be some zeros on here. No, I don't think so. There may be some zeros on here. I don't think so. So that would maybe mess up the averages, but, so over 4 days on average, you were getting about 1900 calories. It doesn't sound like you're super physically active. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I would love to be.
Yeah.
But not overly.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't think it's a super unreasonable amount of calories for you to consume in a day, right? Because you're sitting a lot. And then if we can go to the next slide, it's going to look at, I don't know what that is. Sorry. Protein. This is kind of a red flag for me, Keith. This is something where I think we could make a shift somehow. You're not getting enough protein in. So I don't know how many of you guys have paid attention to the new dietary guidelines for Americans. There's been a big emphasis on protein. And I think it's science that's been around for a while. The recommendations for protein intake before now were based on just like a true protein malnutrition. So like it is going to more imminently, like currently negatively affect your body's ability to function. Protein recommendations now are more in that like optimal range, and they are about 0.8 to 1 grams per pound of ideal body weight. So if you're overweight, you don't do your current weight, right? Like you do what your optimal weight would be. Your dietitian can help you figure out that for your body, because even like the ideal body weight range is a range. So figuring out kind of what's best for you. But regardless, I think that this is a pretty low number for you. I don't think you're getting enough protein.
Just stay away from the nasty ham with so much sodium in it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Or find a better brand.
Yeah, exactly. The screen just went black here. I don't know if people can still hear us or not. Hopefully so.
I can hear you. I don't know if anybody else can.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear us?
Type something in the comments. Let us know if you can see or hear us, y'all.
I think the screen is black. I don't know if they can hear us or not.
Yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube on my phone and it's black. I think Evelyn's just typed in that she can hear.
Okay. I'm not getting that over here. Oh yeah, we hear. Okay, cool. So
Shirley
we'll keep talking. Can hear but can't see. I think Kevin's working on the video here.
On the video. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, but you guys can still hear us.
So I'm okay, you think, on calories, but definitely lacking in protein.
You're pretty low on protein. Yeah, I'd say we probably need to double that protein intake. Let me see. I don't have it in front of me. Let me go back. Let me pull in this analysis here.
I'm still shocked about that ham having that much sodium. I mean, I know that that's salt's used in the curing process, but
yeah,
we're definitely going to have to find a different brand.
Yeah.
Which will be good for the dogs too, because we use the ham to give the dogs their meds. So
yeah.
they'll be healthier too.
They'll be healthier too. That's important. But yeah, so I have it pulled up on my screen here. So you're at 52.8 grams on average. So your low day was 31 grams of protein on the 13th, and your high day was 89 grams, and that was the day you had that pizza. So bumping up that protein. And then Dr. Leak actually commented and said something, high protein diets are well studied and preferred for chronic pain patients. So that's good. Okay. Yeah. And so I don't think
what would a target be? I mean, just throw a number out. I'm not going to hold you to it. So
I mean, how tall are you?
6'1", 210.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely need to double the protein that you're in.
Oh, really? That much?
Yeah.
Like 160?
Like, I don't know
would
if you
be-
need, 150-ish.
Okay.
You don't have to go there tomorrow. Please don't.
No, I won't.
But
No.
try
No, but
getting.
we are putting a shopping list together. So,
Cool.
I mean, that's.
So like this week, try and get some more intentional protein sources. It can be if you're like in a lot of pain and can't function, I don't know if you can tolerate dairy or not, but like Chobani makes a 20 gram of protein yogurt drink that's sweetened with stevia and monk fruit. So it doesn't have all those artificial sweeteners that can harm your microbiome like we talked about. They're fine. Like my kids grab them whenever they're out the door and don't have time to eat. That would be 20 grams, from actual food, from a Greek yogurt. Grab some shredded rotisserie chicken, or just chicken. You can poach it, boil it, throw it in boiling water. And then if you have a stand mixer, strain the water off, put it in a stand mixer with a paddle attachment, turn it on low, and it'll shred it for you. It's so easy.
So you could do like in a Instapot, pretty much the same way, right?
Yeah.
Just toss it in there.
Put it in the Instant Pot.
Instead of the Chobani drink, would something like Ensure? Those type of drinks. But I'm worried about the sweetener and the sugar in those.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
The one I like better than Ensure is Orgain. They make one that's pre-mixed that you can, I think they sell them at most grocery stores. My grandma buys them. I think she gets them at Kroger. She may order them online because it's easier for her. But yeah, Orgain makes a pretty good like pre-mixed protein shake. Okay. If you wanted to upgrade it, which we'll talk about this in a minute, you could throw it in like a Ninja Bullet glass with some frozen fruit and maybe some frozen spinach. And the Orgain protein shake can be the liquid, blend it up and drink that. And that'll give you the micro and phyto. Yeah.
On one of your lives, I'm not sure which one it was, you were talking about protein shakes. And Valerie used to make one for herself every morning for years. And it's like I was trying to figure out how I could add that to my morning or late morning routine.
Yeah. It could be
but if I need to be closer to 120 to 150 on protein, I need to do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, which we can go back in and look at the meals in a minute. I want to look at these higher level patterns, and then we can kind of go dig in and look at more.
I didn't mean to get you off track. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But I think we can even look at what are you already doing and how can we add more protein to it, so that we're not like making you cook, 7 times a day, because that's overwhelming. Yeah. Carbs are fine for you. I'm not worried about carbs for you. They're relatively low, except pizza day was a little bit higher. Something I would like for you to also increase is fiber. So on average, you got about 12 grams of fiber in. This carbs, protein. We go forward one more, Kevin. Oh, you're going back. Can you move the cursor to the other side of the screen so you go forward? There you go. I've done a few Canva presentations in my life. Calories, protein, carbs, fiber should be next. Go one more. Fats, one more. I'm not worried about fat. Fiber. Okay, so you're at about 12 grams of fiber. Optimal intake for adult meals is actually closer to 30 grams of fiber a day. Yeah. So that's also something that we can work to increase. Again, don't go adding a ton of fibrous fake foods like the fiber, like the low carb keto bread that's going to give you 30 grams of fiber. It might hurt your stomach.
No. But see, I never knew I was so low on protein or fiber. That never even registered in my brain that I could be. And I don't think I'm the only chronic pain patient or only chronic patient that is like that doesn't even think about what's my protein intake or what's my.
Most people don't.
I mean, I could see people with certain chronic illness diagnoses needing to keep really close track of protein and fiber and sodium and stuff. But I think for a lot of us chronic pain patients, that doesn't even register because we're dealing with so much other things.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make excuses, but I guess I am, because that's why it happens, I think.
Well, and I think too, nutrition is a pretty new science, we're still learning a lot about it. And it wasn't that long ago that people just were worried about getting enough food to eat, much less optimizing the nutrients of it. But yeah, protein. And also like you are over the age of 30, and after you turn 30, you start losing muscle mass every year, And so when we're talking about quality of life, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, thinking about older people, how do they get in the hospital? They fall down and they get hurt.
Yep.
And so maintaining that muscle mass, you can't be physically active very much because of your, health conditions. So doing things like getting enough protein so that your body can build and repair muscle, is really important. And then when we're talking about lowering inflammation, we've talked a lot over the weeks about gut health and how important that is and how much it contributes to inflammation. So getting enough fiber to feed those good tummy bugs to really optimize gut health can help lower systemic inflammation as well. But you're not alone. It's really easy to not get enough protein. It's really easy to not get enough fiber. And in fact, most people who eat like pretty clean, quote unquote, and come see me, they're getting about 15 to 17 grams of fiber a day. To get to like 25 or 30 grams of fiber a day, you have to be very intentional, with where it's coming from. So we can talk about that here in a minute too. Do I have any more slides, Kevin? That may have been the last one. I may have had sodium on there too for Keith, which we've kind of addressed already, but we can talk about it again.
Again, for me though, it's just, I didn't even know it was an issue. Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. How would you?
And how many other invisible patients, chronic patients are out there that don't know that it could be an issue?
Yeah.
And maybe getting myself closer to the ideal protein or closer to the ideal fiber, again, it gets my body more nutrients and more things that it needs. So post flare, maybe that recovery is going to be a little bit shorter.
And I would argue that it could potentially help reduce frequency of flares or severity of flares.
Yeah, it really could, because I came into this knowing that I'm not taking extra vitamins, right? I'm not taking any kind of extra supplements or something. What you saw for the food intake is really what it was,
And I think vitamins can be helpful. They're supplements though. They can't replace a good varied diet. And like I said, nutrition is a new science. There have to be components of foods that we still don't even know exist. So how can we possibly replicate them into a supplement? Like food is just going to be more effective in our bodies because that's how we were created to have it, right? Not through pills. So
yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, I want to be cognizant of time. We talked about energy. We talked a lot about timing, energy, all of that. We talked about macro and fiber, micro and phyto. Bless their hearts. You don't get a lot of them, do you? Like I didn't see a lot of plant foods, the beans and the burritos,
What's funny is the day that I stopped recording my stuff, I sat down and had a monster salad.
Good.
I mean, because that was like, I'm looking through that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a salad in a week. This is terrible. Right.
Yeah.
So
just being intentional, as you're making your shopping list, you said you're about to make your shopping list, plan out. You have to, if you don't plan it out, it's just not going to happen, so what are the vegetables I'm going to get? When am I going to get them? How am I going to get them? What am I going to do when I don't feel like it, or I'm in a lot of pain? How am I going to pivot, and so that's where something like those smoothies can come in handy. That could be an interesting experiment, to try like a protein smoothie in the morning with some veggies in it and some fruits. I like veggies in smoothies because you don't know they're there. I give them to my 4-year-old. We call them a Hulk smoothie because they're green from the spinach and he thinks it's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's gotten to where if I make myself a smoothie, I have 3 kids running up to me, wanting me to make them smoothies too, which is great. But I'm like, oh, I can't. I just want to drink my smoothie.
If somebody came up to me and said, here's a Hulk smoothie, I might be tempted too. So it's all in presentation.
It's all on presentation. But yeah, so if you were my patient, then what we would do is talk more through, okay, if we were to make this smoothie, like I think this is something you're kind of interested in trying out, we would talk through, when are we going to add it into your day? How is it going to happen? What are you going to put in it? We'll go through a couple recipes. You'll pick one or maybe 2 to try.
Right.
You'll add it to your list. You could even on a, low pain day or low pain time of day, take the nutrients, the ingredients that go in them, you can put them into Ziploc bags and stick them in the freezer. So when it comes time to make the smoothie, all you do is open the bag, dump it into the blender, add in your Orgain shake or whatever liquid you're going to do, and blend it up, and it just it lowers that barrier, it gets rid of barriers in the moment so that you're more likely to follow through.
Yeah, because if I can, excuse me, to be honest with you, if it's going to take a lot of steps and I'm going to be in the kitchen for a long time, the chances of it happening are, the longer I have to be there, the lower the chance it's going to happen. If that makes sense.
It does. So yeah, I mean, frozen veggies are awesome too because they're pre-chopped. You don't have to spend time cutting them up. And honestly, they're a lot cheaper than fresh. And they retain their nutrient content a lot more too because they're picked and then flash frozen at the peak of ripeness versus sitting on the truck and then the store.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with frozen vegetables. That's not it. It's just the fact that convenience and laziness come into it. And I think that's why the microwave is like my go-to instead of a smoothie or the air fryer or the Instapot. So,
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I look for in a food log. So energy, macro fiber, micro phyto, and then food chemicals, which we didn't dig into the food labels. I suspect there probably are in there because of they're mostly coming from a package, and so companies have to add things in to keep their foods more shelf stable, so that they can go through the store and manufacturing process and all of that. But yeah, I don't know. What questions do you have? Was it as scary as you thought it was going to be? What questions do you have?
I knew what I was getting into. It's fine, and I survived. But this is the thing. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. It's embarrassing that I eat that everything I eat practically comes out of a microwave or it's processed. But at the same time, I learned that I had no idea my protein was that bad or anything else. So those could be two relative, I don't want to say easy changes, but two not too difficult changes to make to try to increase those. And I think for me, that's worth a shot to start with that, right? And give it a month or two and then kind of add some more things into it maybe.
Yeah, I like that. I think, see if you can make a smoothie with some veggies and fruit. Riced cauliflower is awesome in smoothies. You don't know it's there and it makes it a little bit creamy. Like strawberry, I did like a strawberry lemonade one a couple of weeks ago. Literally frozen strawberries, juice of a lemon, and some frozen cauliflower, protein powder, water. If you want to bump the fiber up, you can add in some chia seeds or flax seeds. They blend up. You don't know they're there. It's pretty easy. Those kind of stuff I would have to, because I don't think I could eat them, but spinach and stuff like that, I'll eat that raw. That's fine. Yeah. In fact, I prefer spinach salad than a regular lettuce salad. So maybe then you have 2 beef and bean burritos and a side salad, If you add like a vinaigrette, with some olive oil, that olive oil is going to be a source of omega-3, so it's going to help with inflammation too. The vinegar helps reduce blood sugar, so it helps you have a more stable blood sugar response. Yeah,
but see, it doesn't taste as good as that ranch with the garlic and extra pepper in it, though.
Yeah, I don't like ranch. I'm a weird one. But yeah, I mean, you could, do like a
subtle changes.
Greek yogurt based ranch, spinach added in. It's good,
Let me start with just the burritos and a side salad with something on top of it.
Yeah,
let's start there.
Start there.
Then we can try to change the dressing.
Right? Yeah. And then I think if you could add in some protein, either in the form of a smoothie and or add in some protein with dinner. So if you're doing the ramen, maybe do half the seasoning packet, have some rotisserie chicken, mix it in with it or something like that, just to help bump up that protein. If you wanted to add in some broccoli into those ramen noodles, even better,
Right.
But yeah, I think those are some good places to start for sure. Yeah. And then see how you feel in a couple months.
Did we have any questions in the peanut gallery tonight? Anybody have any questions? You guys know me. I'm an open book. So if you have a question for me, just ask.
By the way, Keith, I wouldn't feel too bad about that microwave thing. I bake potatoes in the microwave all the time. 7 minutes does wonders.
See, I would blow it up.
No.
That's my
7 minutes.
problem.
7 minutes in a microwave. Boom. Baked
You know,
potato.
Do you poke holes in it first?
No need.
Okay.
well,
There you go.
Kevin's living on the potato edge over there.
Yeah. I don't see
I
any
mean,
questions.
I did see one. How healthy is a more liquid diet with supplements?
A liquid diet with supplements? I mean, I would not encourage that unless it's like recommended. I mean,
I'm assuming
everyone's
like protein shakes and, like you say, the smoothies.
yeah, every once in a while you have like a patient with really bad SIBO, which is like small intestine bacterial overgrowth, where the organisms move into the small intestine. And you'll put them on like an elemental diet, and that's basically like protein shakes that have been broken down into like the amino acids and stuff like that, to just really try and bypass that small intestine. But yeah, I think we need food to eat to be the most nutritious and healthy that we can be, and also for the enjoyment. I think food is meant to be enjoyed too. So yeah.
Yeah, to me, it makes sense to go the food. I mean, again, obviously, depending on what your doctors are recommending, right? But it makes sense to try to get what we need out of the food instead of a supplement.
Yeah.
Supplements would be great if there was a magical pill we could take and get everything, right?
Yeah.
But it just, to me, it makes more sense that if you can get it out of some non-processed things to put inside your body, food-wise, that would be the better way to go.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I like to think about it a little bit more like this, where instead of having to take a boring pill, like we've been given the gift of eating delicious food that also
Yeah.
supports our bodies, right? Because food is prepared well. It really is amazing. Whole foods, I think, and your taste buds will change too, Keith, over time as you make these changes.
I hope. I
Where,
hope. I try a bottle of Topo about every 2 weeks, and it's still nothing but pepper.
yeah.
That's all I
See,
can
and
taste
that's
out of it.
different. I had a friend whose mom fainted when we were in high school, and she lost her sense of taste, and so that was a different challenge. Do other things taste weird besides the Topo Chico?
When I was on that medicine, yes, but when I got off of, and I've been off of it for 6 months at least, if not longer. So the longer I was off of it, the more my taste buds came back, except for the Topo Chico. It still tastes like pepper.
Yeah. Another brand you might try is Spindrift. It's sparkling water, and instead of having flavoring added to it, it has a little bit of real fruit juice in it. So it's a canned one. I buy it at Target. They have it at Costco in like a big multi-pack. They have one of my favorites is grapefruit. They have a Nojito, which is a lime and mint that's really good. Because the Topo Chico is like flavored, right? I'm sure it's like a natural flavoring. So it may be something in like that chemical part of it that is what you're tasting. Because do you try real limes? Have you ever tried like a real lime? Does it taste like pepper?
The last time I tried a little real lime, no, didn't taste like a pepper.
Yeah. So it might be
So
something,
it's something specific with the
more
Topo.
in that like flavoring. So like a Spindrift might be a really good option for you. And it's
Could be.
real bubbly, and it may taste better for you than that. So there you
We'll
go.
give it a shot.
Give it a try. Let me know.
Yeah.
So cool.
I'm excited. No, I survived. And
survived.
just like the needles being jabbed in my shoulder, I survived that. So, and I hope we're able to take some of the scaredness, the fear out of actually having to admit what we're putting in our bodies. Because I can't, I need to make an appointment with you. I need to just get a hold of my insurance company. Hopefully they'll cover it, because I really think this is an area for a lot of us chronic pain patients that we can address and maybe get some overall relief, right? That's a big part of Invisible. We just try to have a better quality of life. It may not take all my pain away, but if I can have a better attitude or give me more energy, by getting my protein where it needs to be, or getting my gut creatures where they need to
Your
be
good tummy bugs,
happy, and I'm not expecting overnight, but over time, right? That's the key.
Yeah.
Try to be a little bit better.
Yeah. Over time. Health is not a destination. It's a journey.
That's it.
So
I don't know if it's Dr. Leak or if it was Evelyn. Somebody said we need a video on proteins. All proteins aren't built the same.
yeah.
And then
do
Lugnut
that.
was asking, do antacids affect your diet?
Antacids affect how you digest your food. Is that what you're asking, Lugnut? Yeah, they like dilute stomach acid, which dilutes digestive secretions down the road. And so, I mean, they change how you absorb nutrients and all of that. So
that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Generally not ideal to be on all the time, but I think he has a reason, a medical reason to be on them. And so sometimes you do what you can, right?
You got to do what you do. Yeah.
So
cool. Because this is not medical advice, especially on my side. Because y'all know the only license I have is to drive a car, and that's it. So
yeah. Just observations and education. So
that's it.
Cool. I hope you guys learned some good stuff tonight. If y'all liked this, make sure you like our show. Go subscribe to our channel. Share with all your friends. Tell them to go subscribe. Tell them to watch our show. And we'll be back next week on Wednesday at 7 Central. I'm going to be zooming in remote from Kentucky because we're going to be on spring break. So we'll see all of you guys then. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your week. I hope that this education, was helpful for you and that you were able to walk away with some good, thoughts and action steps. So, all right, we'll talk with you guys next week.
Y'all be safe, and thank you, Katie, for your time tonight.
Thanks, Keith, for coming. Bye.
See you. Bye.